Hey everyone, I had to take me a couple of days to kind of decompress after the game Sunday. Um, I was still calling for people's heads on DC Fanatic Radio Monday when we did the show, and I was like, let me wait before I make another video because I don't need to throw any more negativity out than I did. Um, when me saying someone should be fired, let me validate that statement because if we remember back during the Jimmy Johnson days. If something went wrong, if somebody messed up, they possibly got fired. And he told you, he broke it down when Leon Lett made his mistake because everybody said, is he going to get cut? Is he going to get cut? No, because some players are up here on that level and some players are down here. I first thought of it last week when after the Arizona game when Tony Curtis and Justin Rogers let their blocks go. I was like, wow, under Jimmy Johnson, one of those two would have been fired. You know, somebody would have fell on the guillotine for that game, and it's just not happening around here. And I guess that's just a different type leader. Wade is. Grizz kind of brought that up to me that Wade is just a different guy. I mean, they agreed that somebody needed to go, but it's just not the way Wade does things. So. I guess in their way of doing things, Brian Stewart kind of got the axe. But in all honesty, Brian Stewart is attached to Wade. So whatever happened to Wade is going to happen to Brian. So I think Brian's going to stay there. Wade's going to be over the defense basically and trying to fix things on that side of the ball. Because I guarantee you guys, if things don't get fixed on our defensive side, we can cancel it. Because that's the side that has to stop people from scoring, especially in these next 2 weeks. If we're going to eke out a win, and we still can get back to where we thought we were going to be with one of these victories over Tampa Bay or the Giants. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So let's move on. Roy broke his arm. I read something about Roy breaking his arm, and he's out for the season. So we might really have gotten that Roy for Roy because I don't think there's a possibility that both of Roys will not play for the Dallas Cowboys at the same time on the same field. With Brad Johnson, guys, it's like we're going to get the same thing. Tampa Bay knows how to get to the quarterback, and they're going to get to Brad, and we're going to have to do something to where we can utilize Brad's strengths because we can't throw the ball downfield. You guys saw what happened when we throw the ball down the field. We can't. I mean, we probably can luck up and catch a few downfield. I'm not saying it's out of the question, but it can't be a focal point of our game. We can't keep going downfield because it's not a high percentage pass. That's what I'm basically talking about. So it's going to be tough. And you know one thing I don't understand? I don't understand why teams don't get backup quarterbacks that are clone to the starting quarterback, because then you don't have to change your offense up too much when the starting quarterback is gone. You know what I'm saying? If we had a quarterback that had some mobility and some arm strength to back up Tony Romo, then it would be easier for him to transition into the offense that's already there. But now that we put Brad Johnson, who has a totally different skill set, we have to form the offense around this guy, which doesn't make any sense to me. I know I'm just an idiot on the internet, but it don't make much sense to me to, have somebody totally different than your starting quarterback backing him up. So I don't get that. And Michael Vick used to start from Atlanta, and then somebody totally opposite of him used to come up. And every time the backup used to come in for Atlanta, it'd be a totally different team. I don't get it. What else? Greg Ellis. I know he's talking. I don't know what we do with Greg Ellis, guys. I mean, it's a weird problem because he does have some skills. He still can play. But he seems like he's out of place all the time. He seems like he's being forced to make a move with his body that he can't do. Like when he's rushing the quarterback, if the quarterback goes out, he needs some more lateral movement and can't do it. So we got to figure out what we can do with Greg Ellis while we got him here. I don't know how long he's going to be on this team, but while we have him this year, we got to figure out what we can do with Greg Ellis and get Anthony Spencer some more reps in there. The main thing about this team I'm seeing, it's not little problems like Greg Ellis, blah, 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 blah. I just need to stop because I had a few of those written down here. I need to stop. It's not that. It's we're playing right at this level, and everybody else is playing in this level. And the only thing I can break it down to after a few days off and just looking at it is that it don't seem like people are challenging for their jobs. I think there are starters, and since they're starters, the backup is backup. But again, I have to go back to the Jimmy Johnson. In the Jimmy Johnson days, the starter was a starter unless that backup guy moved you out of place, which that does two things. It makes the starter elevate his game so he can keep his job, and number two, it makes the backup elevate their game because they're trying to take that job. And it seems like that kind of competition in each position has just lowered our output when we get on the field. Other teams are playing at just an enormously higher level than us, and that's the only way I can explain it. I can explain it by us just getting physically and mentally beat, and then when that happens, our heads are not in the game anymore, and we create turnovers and we have penalties and stuff like that. That's the only thing I can put my finger on this. And that's why I was saying somebody needs to be fired. If it was a player, it was a player that needed to get cut. So everybody will know that their job is on the line. So it's just, you can't be complacent and win in the NFL. Because when you become complacent, everybody else around you is constantly getting better, and you're just falling off. And that's the only way I can wrap my mind around a team this talented that's acting this horribly. What else? I was gonna, all the coach. I know Brian Stewart is the one who took the axe, but I'm telling you, every single coach on this team could have taken an axe. Hudson Hawk, we were talking you up during the off season, talking about how happy we are to have you back and blah 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 blah. In the first couple of games of the season, it looked like we were right, but then all of a sudden, boom, Jason Garrett, you guys. Tim Callenshaw brought this up, and I want to make sure it's correct, and I'll put a little annotation up here if it's not. But according to Tim Callenshaw, since the Green Bay victory of last year, the Cowboys are 5-6. Did you hear me correctly? Since the Green Bay victory last year, the Dallas Cowboys record is 5-6. That brings everything into a new reality, guys. Is this a 500 football team that's overly publicized? Or can we get things right and run off 6, 7, 8, 9? Because we can run off 9 straight. We got the team to run off the 9 straight. It's the fact of the matter, if we will do that. I don't know where to go, guys. I am totally confused. I will sit down in front of Tampa Bay. I will hope we play well. I will hope we do good and everything. But I don't know. I don't know where this football team is, because it's not a matter of X's and O's. It's not a matter of who's got the best players or not. It just seems like it's down to something else, like heart or something like that. And if they come out, if our boys come out, even without Tony Romo, they come out, ready to play, nobody can beat them. So that's what it comes down to, is mano a mano. Come ready to play. All right, guys, I'll see y'all probably closer to the game, but I'm still in a little messed up place, as I know all of you are too. Peace.